They say land is the greatest wealth a man can leave his son. But my father? He knew a secret that most men learn too late. He knew that physical wealth can be taken in a single night, but there is one thing no thief can ever touch. In the heart of Umu-Aka, life was measured by the rhythm of the seasons and the strength of a man's grip on his hoe. My father, Mazi Chidi, was a man of the soil. He didn't just walk on the earth, he spoke to it.
This dry earth still holds life.
How can you tell?
Feel it, it crumbles but it lives. The soil never lies. Treat it with respect, it rewards you. Cheat it and you starve. Come, sit with me. I need to tell you something. It will change your life. But one afternoon, under the heat of the midday sun, he told me something that changed my life forever. He said, Chukwudi, look at those children. A farm can feed your belly for a season, but education is the only inheritance that cannot be stolen. But education is the only inheritance that cannot be stolen. Fire cannot burn what is in your mind. Rain cannot wash away what is in your heart. This is your true shield.
My mother Adana was the heartbeat of our home. She believed in my father's vision with every fiber of her being. And we weren't rich in gold, but we were wealthy in peace. We lived in a house built on truth and hard work.
That year, the harvest was golden. Our barns were full. It felt like the blessings would never end.
We were a family of light, and in a village like Umu-Aka, light always attracts those who live in the dark.
My Uncle Okonkwo, he didn't have a farm of his own, at least not one he worked. He preferred to harvest what others had planted.
He watched our success not with pride, but with a plan. He was waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
It was the last season of peace I would ever know. The storm was coming, and it had no mercy.
My name is Chuku, and this is how I lost everything and how I used my father's words to take it all back.
Character isn't tested when things are going well, it's tested when the world falls apart. Are you building an inheritance that can be stolen, or one that lasts forever?
They say tragedy doesn't knock. We're counting the heartbeats of a father who can no longer speak.
It started with a cough, a small, dry sound that seemed too weak to topple a man as strong as my father.
My mother fought the illness with everything she had, herbs, prayers, and tears that she tried to hide from me.
I stayed in the doorway, holding onto the books he loved, waiting for him to wake up and tell me it was just a dream.
His last words weren't about the farm or the goats. He whispered, "Remember the inheritance, my son, the one they cannot take." The village grew quiet. When a great tree falls in the forest, the birds stop singing. My father was gone.
The stress and the same fever that took my father found her too. It was as if she couldn't imagine a world where his shadow didn't walk beside her. Within months, the house that used to ring with laughter was as silent as a tomb. I was 12 years old, and I was alone.
I sat by the ashes of our life. I had the land, I had the goats, but I had no one to tell me I was brave.
And that's when the scavengers started to circle. They didn't see a boy in mourning. They saw a boy with an unprotected fortune.
My Uncle Okonkwo didn't wait for the dirt to settle on my mother's grave before he showed his face. He spoke of tradition and protection, but I could see the reflection of my father's barns in his eyes. "Do not be discouraged, my son.
But it is so hard.
You are stronger than you know." The protection began with him taking the keys. then the tools, then the peace. Graves. A spark of my father's fire flickered in my chest. I was a child, looked at those two graves. A spark of my father's fire flickered in my chest. They thought I was just a victim. They forgot that my father didn't just leave me a farm. He left me a mind. I was a child, and the world I knew had fallen apart. But as I looked at those two fragments, fire flickered in my chest.
When you lose everything, you find out what you're truly made of. Do you break, or do you sharpen?
Join me for Chapter 3. The dream comes to one. Follow the journey.
My Uncle Okonkwo didn't come to wipe my tears. He came to measure the size of my father's barn while the funeral fire was still warm. This book holds our people's stories.
I will read them all.
Good. Knowledge is your path.
Yes.
People of the village, hear me! The time has come to stand together. Follow me now!
He arrived with a noise that filled the village. To the neighbors, he was the grieving brother. To me, he was a predator in a silk robe. His eyes were never on my parents' graves. They were on the things they left behind. He wasn't mourning a brother. He was auditing an estate. Before the first week was over, he sat in my father's chair. He didn't ask.
Chukwudi, a child cannot manage a kingdom. I am here to hold the keys until you are a man.
But I saw the lie in his smile.
Listen, my child. The stories of our people are precious.
Yes, Elder. I will remember.
Good. Now, go and play. The protection started with the harvest. He claimed my father owed him debts that had no paperwork, only his word.
Being led away. My inheritance was bleeding out, and I was expected to say thank you.
Stay close to me. The goats are restless.
Yes, Father.
They're breaking loose. Help me. Get them to the pen. We're going. He brought his friends into our home. They ate my mother's stored grain and drank my father's palm wine like they were celebrating a victory, not a death. This stew is the best I've had. To the cook, and to good friends.
He didn't just want the food. He wanted the records. He wanted to make sure there was no evidence of what truly belonged to me. He told me books were for dreamers and that a servant didn't need to read. He didn't know that my father's words were already locked in my memory.
Listen, my boy. This book holds the secrets of our people.
What secrets, Uncle?
The stories of our ancestors.
He was literally shrinking my world. Every night, the boundary of my father's land moved a little closer to the house. I felt like a stranger in my own home. My uncle didn't see a nephew, he saw a nuisance that came with a title deed.
He was already spending money he hadn't earned. He thought he had won because I was quiet. He mistook my silence for weakness.
But while he was counting my father's wealth, I was starting my own. I began to save, not just coins, but observations.
Chukwudi, go fetch the water now!
Yes, Father.
And be quick about it!
He turned me into a servant in the house where I was born.
I let him believe he had broke me. I let him believe he was the clever one. It was the only way to get close enough to see his mistakes.
Greed makes a man blind. It makes him think he's playing a game against a child.
My uncle thought he had taken my home. He didn't realize he had just given me a reason to fight.
Have you ever had someone take credit for your hard work? Don't miss chapter 4 words at the family meeting. Follow for the truth.
There is a kind of theft that doesn't happen in the dark. It happens in broad daylight, in front of the people you trust most.
Wrapped in the language of justice. This was the day my uncle didn't just take my land. He tried to erase my father's name.
The elders gathered. In our village, their word is the law. They are the keepers of history, and today they were here to decide mine.
My uncle took the floor first. He didn't sound like the man who shouted at me in the kitchen. He sounded like a saint carrying a heavy burden. My brothers, the time has come to unite and move forward together. Elders, I come before you with a heavy heart, seeking your wisdom and guidance. You must trust me now.
But what if they find us?
They won't. We have to go now.
He told the elders that my father, his own brother, had been a secret gambler, a man who had borrowed heavily to keep the farm afloat.
I watched the poison enter their ears. Lies are like smoke. Once they fill a room, it's hard for anyone to see the truth.
These papers prove the land is mine. These debts are forged. The land was never yours. Lies! It is mine by right. He produced evidence. He claimed the fertile hills were already promised to him years ago as collateral for these fake debts. He produced evidence. Papers with my father's forged mark. He claimed the fertile hills were already promised to him years ago as collateral for these fake debts. This is a lie.
Father, I must tell you.
Quiet, boy.
I tried to tell them.
I tried to say my father never owed a kobo, but Okonkwo silenced me with a look that said, the village was watching. They saw a man stepping up to save his brother's son from ruin. They didn't see the wolf eating the sheep. Chukwudi, did your father ever speak to you of these debts?
The air felt thick. If I called him liar now without proof, the elders would punish me for disrespect. I had to be smarter.
I understand what must be done.
Then you know the risks.
I am prepared.
Good. Stay vigilant.
The air felt thick. If I called him a liar now without proof, the elders would punish me for disrespect. I had to be smarter.
I said nothing. I let them believe I was confused. I let the wolf think he had successfully hidden his teeth. The verdict was handed down. Because I was with the rocky patch behind the kitchen.
To the burden. My father's life's work was signed away with a nod of the head.
As they left, they thought they had restored order. They didn't know they had just authorized a crime.
You see, the land belongs to those who know how to talk. You have nothing now, boy. Listen to me. You have trust me.
I do, but I'm scared.
I know. Just follow my lead.
He could never monitor, forge, the truth, and the patience to wait for it.
They gave me the rocks because they thought they were worthless. They forgot that David only needed one stone to bring down a giant. When the world is unfair, you have two choices. You can cry or you can calculate. I was done crying.
When the world is unfair, you have two choices. You can cry or you can calculate. I was done crying. From that day on, every move I made was a step toward the Udala tree.
Have you ever been lied about in a group? Drop a pour if you believe justice always finds a way. Join me for Chapter 5, The Unfair Division. Follow for the fight back.